All right, welcome back, everybody. We're talking about, is it a function? This is easy lesson where there is almost nothing to learn. We got literally 3 words, and if we learn those 3 words, we know how to do the entire lesson. It says at the top, a relation where every x matches up with only one y, and that is honestly, what, like 10 words? And we're going to cut it way down. Here's what we need to learn. X cannot repeat. Maybe I got away with one because cannot is kind of a double word. Here we go. X cannot repeat. That is it. Every single question that we're learning how to do today, that's the whole thing. X cannot repeat. That's it. If you have a piece of paper, I hope that you would write on there, X cannot repeat, because that's literally what we're trying to figure out. Okay?
What are we doing all day?
We're doing notes, and then we're doing classwork, just like normal. So this is our notes, and then we're going to classwork after that. So, is it a function? There's only one thing we need to consider. The x's cannot repeat. The first thing that I want to mention here, again, if the only thing that matters is that x's cannot repeat, guess what? Y doesn't matter. We do not care about y. The number one mistake, really the only mistake that you can make, is students who don't write this down, who ignore me a little bit, and all of a sudden they're asking themselves, but what about the y's? Y's doesn't matter. So, for the entire question, just because they don't, because is it a function only matters with domain. So, for the entire paper, if you went through and literally scribbled out every single y number to the point that you couldn't even read them anymore, you could still get a 100% because the y's are completely useless. We only care about the x's. And what does it mean to repeat? It means to like have doubles or to happen twice. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this x, 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 x. The numbers are 3, 5, 6, 9. Do we have any repeated numbers?
No.
3 only happens once, 5 only happens once, 6 is only once, 9 is only once, and so guess what? We're a function. We're just going to write the word function on the line. And for the most part, that's it for the whole day. Look at the x's, look for repeats. So number 2, you can probably already do this one by yourself. What do you think, for example, number 2? Function or not a function? This is not a function, and why is it not a function?
X repeats.
Yes, which one is it that repeats?
1.
The number 1 repeats. Okay? Now, this is a point in the notes where I'm going to say, if all you're doing is writing it down and you're not actually thinking about it, right? High school math, you got to use a little bit of your brain. Hopefully you can identify that we have repeats. Now, example number 3, I want to highlight something for you. -1, -1, -1, -1. That's a whole lot of repeats, right?
But y doesn't matter.
Love it. Exactly. But who cares? Because y doesn't matter at all. Right? Don't be one of those kids who raises their hands and says, but the y is repeating over and over again. The y's don't matter. Okay? This is still considered a function because we have 6, 7, 8, 9. No repeats at all. 6, 7, 8, 9. Any issues with the first 3? I think we're feeling pretty good. How are we doing? If I gave you a quiz right now where every single question looked like example 1, 2, 3, could you get 100?
Yes.
You promise?
Yep,
Okay.
I promise.
Awesome. Let's move on. We've got 4, 5, and 6, which are tables. They look a little bit different. Are we going to look at the left side of the table or the right side of the table?
Left side.
We're going to be looking at the left side because the x's matter. And what do we care about the y's?
Nothing.
We don't care at all. Okay? The y's, totally useless. Nobody cares. If you want to cross them out, cross them out. So, what do you think about example 4? You're going function or not a function? Why are we going with not a function?
Negative 9 repeats.
Exactly, way to go. Negative 9, negative 9. Okay, I'm going to start my watch. You got 25 seconds to do the next 2 questions. You got to do example 5, you got to do example 6. And I think that you can do 2 questions in 25 seconds. You're going to do example 5, example 6. You're going to try these out.
I'm already done.
I'm sure. Here it goes. Ready?
Like the whole thing.
All right. That was example 5 and 6. Example 5. Thank you for being quiet. It's not a big deal. You don't have to react to everything. Example 5. What do you think? Function or not a function?
Function.
Function. What do you think about example 6?
Function.
Function. If I gave you a quiz where every question looked like a table, could you get 100%?
Yeah.
So what we're learning is that, 1, we can do 2 questions in 25 seconds. This is not a long process at all. We're also learning that after doing 3 examples, we should be able to get 100% of these questions right for the rest of our lives, because they're not that difficult. Okay? Now, we are going to step up a half difficulty degree here, talking about the maps, because with the maps, it's always a little weird to realize what you're looking at. Okay? First of all, when we're talking about functions, are we working with the x's or the y's? We're working with the x's. Nice job. Do we need to use the y's for anything at all? No. If you want to cross them out, cross them out. They're for right now, determining functions, useless. Now, what we're going to look for when it comes to functions of a map
Is if they go to more than 1.
well, I hear a yes, yes, and no. So I want to be actually. Let me define it before you get in there. We have these lines. We're going to be looking at the lines, okay? And x's, because again we don't care about the y's, only one line, right? It's the same rule. X's cannot repeat, but for these map questions where we have lines, you can't repeat lines either. So, for example, from the triangle, how many lines do we have from the triangle? 1. Check. That looks good. What about the rectangle? 1. Check. Only 1 line leaving that rectangle. What about the polygon thing in the middle? There's only 1 leaving here. And what about the square at the bottom? 1. All right. We're good, 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 good. No repeats. Awesome. We're going to be a function. All right, I'm going to give you 25 seconds. See if you can do the next 2. Look at them. Take your time. If you want to cross off the y's, cross them off. Remember, x, only 1 line. If you finish up, just stay quiet for a sec. All right, there's your 25. Were you able to look at both of these and figure it out?
Yeah.
If we look at this middle one, I don't care about the y values. I'm going to look at these x's, and I'm looking for only 1 line for each number. Function or not a function? Not a function. And why do we have not a function?
0 goes to 2 y's.
That's exactly correct, because the 0 has 2 lines. This 0 is a problem. It's got 1 that goes to the -2, it got 1 that goes to the 1. But again, simply, the x's better only have 1 line for each thing. Over on the last one, I did have some people in second period miss this question.
Doesn't function.
Did you say function or
It is a
not?
function.
It is a function. I agree with you. This is a function. The y's don't matter. Over here, we have 1 check, 1 check. 1, check. 1, check. We're good. It's a function. Okay, flip it over to the back. And here's what I have to kind of warn you with, okay? On the back, it is probably twice as hard as it was on the front, but the good news is it was so easy on the front. At twice as hard is still not that bad, but you still need to pay attention here, okay? If you snooze through this, you will be missing these questions, okay? We're talking about the vertical line test, and just a heads up, the vertical line test is an answer on the classwork that you're about to start. This is one of the answers, vertical line test, okay? So you've heard this before now. I've said it 5 times in a row, vertical line test, vertical line test. What the vertical line test is using a vertical line to see if you have repeated x values, okay? So follow with me here. There is a circle and there is a V-shaped graph, okay? So we have a circle and we have a V-shaped graph. And with our vertical line test, the way it works, you may have heard it called a pencil test before. The way it works is we kind of drag a pencil across the paper, and if we ever touch the line 2 times, then we fail, okay? So look at this circle. Do you see how we have a touch at the bottom and we have a touch at the top?
Yep.
That
Therefore, not a function.
is a fail, exactly. Therefore, not a function. However, look at the V-shaped graph. Do you see how this vertical line only has 1 touch?
Yeah.
That's looking pretty good. That's going to be a function. And the thing is, you have to check this function everywhere. So a lot of times I like to draw lines like this. 1 touch, 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 1 touch. We're good, right? It touches only 1 time the whole way. This would be a function. However, if you have a single place where you get a double touch, that is going to fail, and you are going to be not function. Okay, now, this, a lot of students kind of get stuck on this, okay? We always learn this kind of around Halloween, and so I've been jokingly teaching it like this lately as well, all right? Check this out. I got a scary Halloween knife, right? Kind of spooky. I'm sure you guys are a little spooked. So you can think about it instead of the vertical line test. Students don't really like the pencil test. I don't know why, they just don't really like the pencil test.
It's so easy, I use that.
All right, well, fair. Not everybody's the same as you. Some people don't think it's easy. You can think about this knife like you are going to stab the graph, like you're in some scary Halloween movie, right? You're going to go like, so when you do that, and we look at this straight line, and I think about myself like I'm some spooky guy in a hockey mask or something, I'm gonna, ooh, that's the worst knife ever. Also, you guys know my drawing skills aren't very good. Shing! When I slice through this line, how many times do I touch the line?
Once.
Only once, and that's fine. Okay? Then I try. Shing! How many times did I get it that time?
Once.
Only once. So if you can ever stab down into it and get it twice, then it's going to be not a function. What do you think for this line? You think function or not a function? I think this is going to be a function. Okay? I agree with you. Okay? The last little tip that I'll give you, because when it comes to this graph stuff, everyone has their own way of thinking about it. Some people like the line. Some people like to think about it like you're kind of going into there. The last thing I'll tell you is if you look at the line itself, okay, if it ever folds back on top of itself, then it's going to set itself up to not be a function. So let's look at this next one. However you want to do it, whether you want to slide a pencil across, whether you want to come down, shing, 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 slice it up, what do you think?
It's a function.
I think this is going to be a function because no matter what I do, slice, 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 I always cut only one time, right? Once, 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 once. I never have a double. I'm good. I'm a function. All right? Some students get intimidated by the relation here with just a bunch of coordinates, and they think maybe it's harder because they don't have the line. What makes up this graph? Dots, coordinates, ordered pairs. Okay? How many dots are there on this graph?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. And then think to yourself, do these dots ever stack up so that I could get them twice at once, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you see that this region right here, if I decide that it's my time, shing, and I want to come down in here, I'm going to get a double hit. And that is going to cause me to fail, not a function.
Okay.
All right, how do we feel about this? We feel okay?
Feel pretty good.
I'll tell you, what normally happens is this front is so easy where you can literally turn your brain off and still get the questions right. People get to the back, they just nod their head, they don't try it themselves, and then they get stuck. So, let's look at these three on the bottom, okay? I'm going to give you a minute. Try to do these, and I'm being serious. It's 1 minute. It's the last thing that we have to do here. Try to finish off these three. I think most of us have already maybe looked at that, so I'll give you 20 seconds. All right, 20 more seconds. If anybody's got it, raise your hand. I'll check it out. Draw some lines.
The volume.
Maybe go literally 1 minute and then or 25 seconds. Looks good.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Can you come here, Mr. Cody? Because I really don't want to do it. I'm just trying.
You did a good job. You got it. All right, here we go. Let's finish up the video. Let's finish up the notes. We're pretty much done. For the first one, could you stab this graph and get it twice?
Yes.
Do you see how it folds on top of itself?
Yup.
And we got it 3 times actually. Wow, bonus. Not a function. What do we think about number 2?
That's not a function.
Right, I think it's good, but in this little spot right here,
So even if it was slightly
not good. Not a function. What'd you say?
almost like even if it was slightly slanted,
It would be good, but if it's straight up and down, no bueno. Last one, what did you think? Function or not a function?
function.
Good. We're good the whole time. Function. All right, is it a function or not? Remember, the x's cannot repeat. If you're looking at coordinates, look at the x's. If you're looking at tables, look at the table. If you're looking at maps, remember the rule for maps is that the x's only get one line. And as far as graphs, I gave you a bunch of different strategies. Think of it like a knife. Think about the vertical line test. Think about the graph folding back, stacking on top of itself. All right, is it a function or not?